from the United States in our legal system. It is bound up in our economics. It's bound up in our intellectual system. It's bound up in all of the institutions that surround us. And therefore, individual failings are largely due, or group failings, if there's disparity between groups, group failings are due to these institutional biases that have long predated the people who are born today, as opposed to the fault or responsibility of the individual today. Do you find that deeply wrong or unfair?
I think that's very one-dimensional, but can you please go on to microaggression? No, I'm just curious. I don't want to.
Sure. Yeah. No. I mean, I would. You can label it whatever you want. I was hoping to get your definition also, so we can actually come to consensus if we could. I mean, that'd be more interesting to me. But if you want me to just to define things, okay, dictionary. Okay. So microaggressions, according to Jonathan Haidt and Greg Lukianoff in The Atlantic, are largely defined as implicit statements that we make that offend other people without even knowing it. And they're based subjectively. They're not based objectively. So I can say something to you, like if I ask you where you're from, right? You can take that as a microaggression, particularly if you're from a foreign country, because you may be thinking that I'm thinking that you are a foreigner, for example. And to me, subjectivity in interpretation is significantly less important or decent for a society in which we actually have to talk to each other than objective meanings of words and statements.
Personally, I do agree with that definition to an extent. The comment that you made about having microaggressions allow someone to put their hands on them or allow someone to act negatively or aggressively or physically, I do disagree with that because I think that's taking a jump away from what microaggressions actually mean.
So then why call them microaggressions? So instead, why don't you just say, that offends me?
And which is perfectly fine, but I think that what microaggressions mean, you are taking it another step outside of what the common definition is, or at least the definition that I may use. I just think that...
Right, I mean, you're right that I'm extending the logic to what campuses actually do, namely punish people for microaggressions or take measures against them. So you may agree that something's a microaggression, there shouldn't be measures against it. I'm suggesting that we come to an agreement now, you and I, that the language of microaggressions ought to go away, and instead we'll just call them subjectively offensive statements. Because that's more accurate. Microaggression implies there's something objectively aggressive about what I am saying to you if I say something to you that you don't like.
I don't know.
You know, it's interesting though, so I'm glad you're here.
I will step by that one because next one is trigger warnings.
Okay, so trigger warnings are again based on the idea that I'm going to say something to you that is, were you here? Yes.
Definition of it because I think we have two different definitions of what all these terms mean.
The reason that I'm finding this conversation mildly unproductive is you're not giving me your definition so we can actually reach something here. Again, I'm happy to define things until the cows come home, but what I enjoy doing is actually figuring out, if you think I'm wrong, you tell me where I'm wrong, and then we can discuss where I'm wrong or not. That seems more productive to me. Wouldn't it be more productive to you? I mean, as opposed to me just saying things to you?
So it would be more productive, but this is a large, it's a large group of people and I want to speak.
We have a long line.
Yeah, I'm sorry
we're
about
out
that.
of time, so thank you.
Again, folks, if you want to email me, if you want to email, my email address